Some Southeast rep have given their position that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be released unconditional following the recent developments that have, of course, seen the southeastern region being thrown into restiveness. That the only panacea to such is the release, an unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, as given by the appellate courts of law. Your take on that?
I think there has been various calls for Nnamdi Kanu to be released. Adding to that, the court also gave him bail, discharged and acquitted. And the federal government decided to hold him. Up till now, there are no fresh charges that have been raised, filed against him by any court, either by federal government. They just kept him there. And he's been kept in custody without any offense. Is the height of injustice, is the height of wickedness by the Nigerian state to continue to detain a man who only asking for a direction for his own people. He's uncalled for. He has gone to court. He has faced Nigerian judiciary. He has faced his trial, and he came out discharged and acquitted. So I think the reps are in order. If they actually have conscience, they should mount pressure, and let him be released from DSS custody. He has not done anything wrong. Nnamdi Kanu, he has always been a hero. They have added more colors to him. He's been celebrated all over the world. And this time around, I pray that he'll be released without any condition attached, because he did not commit any offense. So the rest are in order. They should continue in that direction, because the peace in eastern Nigeria, so to say, has gone down so badly that the rate of insecurity and killing, whether by the Nigerian state or by forces of wickedness, so to say, whatever it is, we know that right from the time Nnamdi Kanu was brought back to Nigeria and taken to DSS custody, the insecurity in Southeast fled up and has thoroughly been linked to the injustice being done to that young man and to the people of Southeast. Nigeria has always been a lopsided entity. Right from the beginning, the foundation of this country was laid. Everything about Nigeria has always been lopsided. The quest to define Nigeria has been thrown into incommunicado, has been enveloped for over the years, and nobody has properly come out to define what Nigeria is and what Nigeria stood for. Nnamdi Kanu has been seen as a burden to the Nigerian system in the quest to sort out unanswerable questions that has been attached to the entity called Nigeria. Nnamdi Kanu is being seen by enemies of freedom as a man who is bigger and larger than even the so-called Boko Haram, the so-called Niger Delta militants. Nnamdi Kanu has gone beyond their rating, beyond Nigeria as a nation in terms of what he represents and who he is. Nnamdi Kanu is an outstanding personality, a reserved man, a man of wisdom. If you define him very well, you know that that man, Nnamdi Kanu, is God sent. He has put a question mark on the Nigerian entity and context. And till today, no government of non-Nigerian state has come out to define what Nnamdi Kanu stood for. Nnamdi Kanu stood for a lot of things. Nnamdi Kanu stood for Africa. Nnamdi Kanu stood for is a symbol of what freedom in quote, entity in quote, identity in quote. That's what Nnamdi Kanu represents. So the Nigerian state sees him as a a burden to them, because it has unraveled a lot of things, you know, that has gotten into the consciousness of, you know, the citizenry, so to say. But that notwithstanding, as it stands now, Nnamdi Kanu can never be compared with the likes of the other guy that said that he comes from what is even Niger Delta? What is Niger Delta? Can Asari Dokubo come out and define what Niger Delta is? Can he give me a thorough, a clear definition of what Niger Delta is and what South South is? These are enemies of the Eastern Nigeria. These are enemies of the old Eastern Central States. These are enemies of the Biafrans. These are enemies, you know, of the Igbo nation. So Nnamdi Kanu has opened up a kind of bag that everybody comes around and giraffe want to know what is inside there. It's only Nnamdi Kanu that knows what is inside. No other person knows what is inside, and that is why the Nigerian state has kept him able to look at free most of them who are Boko Haram, who goes about killing Nigerians, killing Nigerian police, killing Nigerian military, and nothing is being done. But a man who simply asks for identity, who are you, is being kept in custody without any listen. He went to court, a brave man, he came back, he went to the Nigerian state court.
Nigeria dragged him to their own court.
And he went there and he defeated them. And even up to now, the Supreme Court, the federal government has not been able to bring out any other fresh charges. They just kept him in incommunicado. So his people are asking questions. Where is the justice? Where is the rule of law? So at this point, we keep on hoping that justice will be done. And when justice is being done, peace will return. And when there is injustice, there is no peace. Justice.
Yes, and in line with that, the argument or notion that the southeastern states are landlocked have been demystified. It has been established now that from the eastern states, you can navigate through the Atlantics without any hindrance. So, don't you think that that is a very laudable achievement for the Igbos?
It has always been there, unless you don't want to toe the line of history. And that is what Nnamdi Kanu is making public to the whole world. That the campaign that the Eastern Nigeria is landlocked is totally fake. It's unacceptable. There's no truth in that. It's just a mere propaganda by the Yorubas and the Northerners, you know, to whittle down the influence of Igbos and to sell an idea that does not work. What do you mean by landlocked? A nation, Biafra nation that have up to if we want to go into maritime, that is when you know that Biafra has resources from about 22 nautical miles before you be able to. I don't want to go to that area. Anybody that is telling you that is just being jealous of what God has planted in that nation that is about to spring up. We have maritime and we are going to make use of it. Biafra land is not landlocked. We are going to drag it. Yes, we know when the Portugal came to this country, before the Germany and France took over, before them Britain came, we know what the Portuguese, who were the first missionaries that entered this part of the world, what they wrote about, you know, Biafra. So we know the history. You understand? It's not Igbos that named them.
Okay, you have the history.
Yes, it's not Igbos that named themselves Biafra. It is not the Portuguese that named this part of the world Biafra. Go and check the history. You find traces of it in the Bible, right from the Ethiopian miners, the Ethiopian axis, down to Gulf of Guinea, down to this part of Eastern Nigeria, which they call Bight of Biafra. Who named it Bight of Biafra? You think the name came from the Portuguese? Biafra is as old as the world. So it is a link of our identity. It is a link of who we are. It is a link of our generation. It is a link of our genealogy. So nobody's going to take that away from us. is a very clear thing. And by the time we continue to push, we continue to reclaim. Look at what is happening in Israel now. They are gradually taking over their lands. It belongs to them. That is exactly what is going to happen. Biafra is not an Ijon name. Biafra is not an Igbo name. Biafra is a definition of an identity of a certain race that has connection with history, that has connection with genealogy, that has connection with the beginning of this earth. So that is the way it is. Nobody can tell you that a nation that has such history, such spread, is landlocked. Let us go back to what the Portuguese wrote. You discover that even the Niger State, Benue, Plateau, we are all East Central states. Who knows the Delta state? Who knows what this thing that the Britain came and destroyed every traces of how it was being structured by the Portuguese? And that's why we started having all this rubbish. Look at somebody like Asari Dokubo. Who is Asari Dokubo? It's unfortunate we have such person who carry AK-47, a criminal for that matter, coming out to challenge a personality like Nnamdi Kanu. That Nnamdi Kanu influence have already swallowed him, not talk of his own personality. Can he step his foot where Nnamdi Kanu has stepped his foot? Is it because that Tinubu gave him some change, he went and built 1 or 2 houses, that's why he's making all this noise? He's a stupid man. He doesn't know what is happening in Niger Delta. Has the issue of Niger Delta been resolved?
The
oil producing communities, are they not still going through a lot? Is there any light in those areas? Is there any road in those areas? What has he achieved as a militant? All these years of his militancy, he's a sold out. He has compromised himself. In fact, he's a. I think people that knows the truth will see him as a pure saboteur. That's the name for Asari Dokubo.
Wow, it's been an exciting moment, honestly. You have lectured us in several issues bordering on history and our existence as a people. And we hope, of course, we'll have you in some other editions. Thank you once again, esteemed comrade, for being here in today's political rumbles here in Cowave TV.